Alright, greetings and thank you for watching Bloom from Within Love. I go by Bloomy, and today's tarot reading is regarding the mental, neurological, emotional, and sexual health of a person of interest that you have. And many of you are asking this question because you just desire to know, wow, throat. You desire to know whether or not it's healthy at this time to allow intimate or close connection with someone, not from a place of judgment, but if you are on this path and you resonate with me and you've been doing a lot of work, you just realize how imperatively important it is to note what kind of relationships you have, and if something is healthy and the right timing, um, and if people, all parties involved, are in a state in which could be conducive to the kind of connection you really want. All right. And so I was inspired today in my own life just to create this spread because it matters. And most of you know that we are reflections of one another. And so, like I said, it's not about a judgment. It's really about assessment. Is this person in the place? You know, you could have been doing work and it started shifting, and oftentimes people may still want to be connected with you in a time where they're not currently there. And what we're starting to learn and understand is that it takes more than just simply having chemistry with somebody. It takes more than simply just being attracted to somebody. It takes more than those things. Even believing that maybe someone is your soulmate or someone is your twin flame. None of that really matters at the end of the day if the people and parties involved are not in a healthy space. And what is a healthy space? Some of you are saying, what is healthy? Healthy has nothing to do with perfection. Healthy has everything to do with balance and someone who is self-aware, and beyond being self-aware, someone who is working on their own shit. And even if they're in a place and phase and stage in which they could handle properly, that would produce a connection that is balanced, mutually beneficial, honest and of integrity, full of peace. You know, is anything perfect? No. But that is by no means a reason for us to be in connections that are clearly unhealthy, clearly out of balance. And so my intention with this reading is to provide, for those of you who this will resonate with, some clear insights into a person of interest, somebody that you want to date, somebody that you are dating, someone you're crushing on, someone who's crushing on you, someone that you even could currently be with. You can be in this connection and wondering, is this person healthy? And how do I proceed? So the way this spread is going to go is we're going to have one roll for the mental and the neurological on the physiological plane, okay? When I say mental, neurological. So it's going to deal with their mental thought life as well as what's going on in their physical brain. If you guys have followed any of my other uploads, you see that I talk about neurology and neuroplasty and its effects, right? So we're going to have one roll for that, and that's going to be this deck, okay? Then we're going to have another deck for their emotions. Where are they in their emotions, okay? And then lastly, we're going to have one to deal with their sexuality. Okay, we want to have some insight into their sexuality, the roots of their sexuality, what's going on there, really beneath the surface, beneath, and that's the desire for each role, beneath what it appears, the roots of what's going on really within them, which in essence causes them to conduct and behave in the way in which they do. Okay, so we're looking to go to the subconscious. We're looking to tap into what's really there versus what appears to be there, okay? But before we get into each role of those, we're going to start by getting some oracles just to set the theme of what's going on. And so it can be vice versa. You can utilize that oracle energy for yourself, as well as something that's just applied to what they're going through. So I'm going to ask Kuan Yin to show us something that they're currently in and needing to work on. And if you feel led, you can say the prayer at the end of it. She has prayer transmissions. You could say it for yourself, or you can just set your heart intention to send that love and light prayer to that person, okay? We're going to also pull a crystal grid oracle for them, kind of to confirm Kuan Yin and what she's saying in terms of creating a sacred geometry grid that could support the theme of their overall where they're at and what would help them process the energy, okay? And then, of course, at the ending, we're going to do some affirmations that would be suitable to help you in the interim, whether you feel like you come to the place where you need to decide to disconnect or not connect at all, but you want to seek higher level guidance and affirmations so that it's still from a heart space and loving as possible, but to, in essence, get you grounded. And this is why I have the black tourmaline out today, because it's an extremely cleansing crystal, but it's extremely grounding. And we ourselves, we need a lot of grounding in this time, but the persons of interest, whatever, wherever they are, whether it's good, bad, or indifferent, whatever comes out, grounding is required. Grounding. And when I say grounding, I am specifically setting intention that this tourmaline energy, as well as the energy from the crystal grid, as well as asking my energetic support to ground us from our root chakra down to our chakras in our feet, then into the earth chakras, which are beneath the feet, into Mother Gaia. This is what stabilizes us through change, transition, processing energy, growing, developing, manifesting, okay? Grounding is very, very, very important. And so I would like that grounding energy to be here with the cards, with the reading, okay? As well as my intention sent to you and to your loved interest, or persons of interest, okay? All right, so without any further ado, let's start with Kuan Yin. She is the leading theme. She's going to give us the lead on the overall of what's going on with the person in reference to this particular spread. Okay, since this is a mental neurological tarot reading. All right, so we're going to ask for an overall energy support from her. All right, to get going. So let's get going. Let's do this like this. Okay. Mental, neurological, emotional, sexual tarot reading for the collective, for their love interest. Overall supporting energy to assist with that for the love interest. Where are they? Where are they? We're still in some retrogrades, but I think that Venus went direct today. I thought I saw that somewhere online. So, you know, I wonder what, you know, how that's going to affect everything. I've enjoyed the Venus thing. The beauty, the creativity, all of that has just kind of been exploding in me. A lot of sexual energy, you know, indeed, but I love that. And then, you know, like many, I did get a lot of people to contact me in retrograde from the past. And that's kind of atypical, you guys. You know, people you least expect. Sometimes you be like, what the hell? They came out the woodworks. Um, but that's a part of the process, and it's okay. It's all good. All right, let's see here. We are asking for the love interest. Where are they at in their journey? Something that would support that, something that would provide insight for us into the person, right? So let's go. Thank you, Kuan Yin. Thank you for providing that. I ask for a buffering energy to surround the reading, to surround myself, to surround technology and the internet connections and devices and electronics that we're utilizing at this time, to surround our environments and ground us and help us to connect to our highest heart and to get clear and concise, true and accurate, yet loving messages from a higher perspective. Higher perspective. Love interest. Love interest. Okay. 2 wanted to come out. I'm going to grab and see what they were so they popped. Just to see what sits. Wow, there's the Lotus Throne again. Okay. Blossoms of the Sky Dancer. Sisters of the Star Blossoms. Okay. I'm going to take them both. Okay. These are the 2 overall themes. That's from our beautiful goddess, Kuan Yin. Okay. Very heart energy based. Kuan Yin is very heart energy. Okay. Heart chakra. And we got Sisters of the Star Blossoms and then Blossoms of the Sky Dancer, and which is card number 3 and card number 27. So you guys might want to search those numbers. 7, 8, 9, 9, 3, 9 and 3. Okay. Check out angel numbers 9 and 3. There may be some significance for you there, and there may be some significant messages in that regarding the mental, neurological, emotional, and sexual health state of the person of interest, okay? But let me just pull out the prayer transmission. I'm not going to read all of the information because I want to try to minimize my readings as best I can. So, divine feminine power. Okay, whether you are fully conscious of it or not, it is happening. Kuan Yin brings you guidance that you are creating something important right now. Okay, that is aligned with heavenly forces. Okay, and wow, the way of the Sky Dancer Yin. The way of the Sky Dancer Kuan Yin is the Yin way, or the way of divine magnetism. Yin power is the consciousness and the beingness that allows us to draw into our lives that which we deserve. We become attractive to it. Wealth, well-being, peace, passion, purpose, friendship, support, success, and so on. Rather than going out and striving for it as though we do not have it within us already, we can grow in our ability. Simply be and become simultaneously until we experience it physically in our lives. It is only a matter of time until it happens, okay? So your person is being called by universal energy, something that they set up themselves, by the way, but to keep this kind of simple and streamlined, they are being called to stop striving so much. Stop striving in the negative, or should I say in the lower vibrational sense, to start looking within, stop looking externally. And so currently that is the supporting energy, and currently what the universe is trying to assist them with regarding their neurological, mental, emotional, sexual health, because a lot of them have externalized it all, everything. And so now they're being called to go within and look at their own patterns, look at their own, look in the mirror, if you will, and to look within for answers, for for fulfillment, for peace, for release, whatever that is they may need in that area, and to no longer um, blaming externally for their mental health, because some of them may be very much aware that they're not in balance in these areas, but they're still in a state where they're just looking externally to fulfill it and make it feel better, for lack of better words, instead of getting to the roots. Okay, just looking for more medication, if you will, instead of dealing. um, some of them are projecting and blaming. It's the whole world's fault, and I'm gonna stay here because it's the world's fault. I'm crazy because they made me crazy. I'm off because they made me off. I'm crazy because they abused me. I feel off because of this. And these are all normal processes, but it keeps you stuck. It keeps you at a victim state, because it's not about denying the fact that many of us have probably been extremely neglected by parentals as we grew up. Even if they provided a roof over our head, food to eat, you know what I mean? That's only the bare minimum. That has nothing to do with helping to co-create and cultivate and raise up a healthy being. So some of us may have even experienced extreme negligence, where it was bad, where they barely even was able to do the bare minimum. Okay, or even, I hate to say it, sexual abuse. I don't really want to go deep into that, but I know for certain that some of you, and it was suppressed, and it has created. You were. I heard another reader say about being silenced, and so that's common. I can relate to that. So a lot of your persons of interest were silenced, and they lived a facade and had to save face, but in essence they were abused, they were mistreated, they were neglected. But in order for them to move forward in life, they're going to have to let go, and Kuan Yin is here to assist with them processing that. So we're going to go ahead and say the prayer that she has here, just for the sake of time. All right, so dear beloved Kuan Yin, sky dancer, blossoming with creation, I am one with the power of the divine feminine. I am one with peace, with creation that will manifest. I am love. I am surrendering. I am yin. I am blessed. I let go to receive. I let go to flow. Peace in my heart now fertilizes my creation to grow. Om Mani Padme Hum. Sisters of the Star Blossom, we're going to get to her prayer. Okay. So some of your love interests have been in a lot of isolation and forms of isolation. And let me explain what I mean by that, because you can be being around a lot of people and you're still in isolation. You can be partying like it's 1999, but you're still in isolation. So some of your people, your love interests, have been living a life of isolation as a result of the things I just mentioned before. Isolating who they really are, isolating their feelings, isolating and disconnecting from themselves, isolating from healthy connections. Connections that would actually, align with their higher selves and align with where they're trying to go, versus the more toxicity type connections that they're addicted to. So in this season, regarding this particular spread, divine universal energy is trying to assist them to accept and come into alignment with higher realm connections, to get the support of those who are in a position to support in the right manner, because there are connections that appear helpful that turned out to be more toxic than anything. Because you do have a lot of people that are in exploitive energy, especially due to coronavirus and due to where humanity sometimes is and where people are and their chosen paths. People running off of that fear energy, and when that happens, you have a lot of people with an appearance of help with an exploitive vibration connected to it, and in essence they themselves are in the very ditch that you're trying to get out of. Okay, they've chosen to stay in that vibration. They have chosen to take that route and path, and they have the right to do so. But some of you, your higher self, and you have been praying and asking, or your interests, love interests, have been secretly doing that. And because of that, their higher self and source energy is trying to align them or get them in position to receive the help that they have been crying out for, so that they can process this energy. Okay, now let's get to the prayer. Beloved sisters of the sun rising, sweet sister Kuan Yin, thank you for your help now in opening our hearts fearlessly with confidence, faith, friendliness, firm boundaries, and an open mind to be inspired, supported, and helped in making successful, creative collaborations. May all such relationships and connections be blessed in my life. Om Mani Padme Hum. So for them to collaborate and get into alignment with the right people who are not only going to help them with this process, but be in alignment to continue to be a part of their lives. We have a free will choice of who we let into our lives. And so some of your people are starting to realize that they have lived a pattern of loops and selections of toxicity. And it's due to some deep roots. And that's why this reading is going to subconscious, not just the surface of what appears, okay? All right, now with that being said, let's move on to our crystal grid, because we're already 21 minutes in. Already 21 minutes. And I want to please somehow be able to do a quick reading that doesn't take 2 hours long. All right, let's do it. Mental, neurological, sexual, and emotional health of the love interest for the collective read. Please and thank you. Hope you all are doing good. Hope you all are feeling a little bit more balanced and getting back to normal life. Staying safe, yet free. Free. All right, love interest. Okay, what is the support for Kuan Yin? A support for those guidance, for the love interest. Please and thank you. Support. Crystal grid support for that. That would help process the energy in the most loving, neutralized, kind, and gentle, caring way for all. Love interest and all that are involved, and for those that are watching, support with this mental health, neurological, emotional, sexual health. Please and thank you. Okay, there it is. I'm not sure. Wait, I want to really connect it. There we go. All right. Ooh, these flies out here, you guys. All right. Ooh, at the bottom of the deck, we got rebirth. And so some of your people are going through a rebirth, like I said. And it's concerning their mental health. It's concerning their neurological health. It's concerning their emotional and sexual health. They're going through a rebirth, okay? So take a look at this card. Pause it. This is a sacred geometry grid. This will support you, and you can also set the intention to send that energy, loving energy to them, okay? That's the bottom of the deck, but the card that came out was card number 31, Nature Cycles. Okay, so they are going through 3 plus 1 is 4. Okay, they're going through, gosh, they even like the pinnacles. Okay, anyways, they're going through just a normal cycle of life. Some of them may be going through a midlife crisis. Some of them may be going through perimenopause. Some of them may be going through just a natural cycle of life concerning, them on their own personal life path. And it includes them evaluating and looking at their mental, neurological, emotional, and sexual health. It's because of these cycles, okay, that they are looking at that, and they're noticing cycles. That's another thing that jumps out to me. And because I see this, is that a moose in the background? It's because it's huge, and my eyes were drawn to that. So a lot of earth energy. So you all may be dealing with one of the earth signs, or you yourself may be an earth sign or have it somewhere in your chart. But nonetheless, they are realizing how their own stubbornness and their own resistance to the natural life cycles, change, growing, developing, they're starting to see it in a manifested reality. They're starting to see the effects, as where before maybe they didn't, but they're really starting to take a look at, like, oh, my resistance, my stubbornness, my failure to want to accept change has just been creating this over and over again. Okay, so take a look at that, pause that. Sacred geometry provides energetic support along with the crystals, and these cards are charged with that. Okay, you can receive it for yourself as well as sending it out to love interest. Okay, all right, moving forward, because we're at 26 minutes. It'll be a miracle if I manage to get this stopped at 45. But I'm going for it. I'm going to try, you guys, okay? All right, so remember we said we said this is going to be mental and neurological. So let's start with the mental and neurological plane first before we get into their emotion and before we get into their sexuality. All right, let's see here. All right. Okay, mental and neurological health of the person of interest for the collective. Mental and neurological. Physiological brain, mental thought life, neurological, intellectual, mental, neurological, physiological health of the person of interest. Please and thank you. Let's go. Thank you. Oh, hell. Okay. Well, there we go, y'all. Okay, so I'm going to sit this here. I'm going to get these all cards out instead of reading each, okay? So let's do that. Now let's do, that's the mental, intellectual, neurological position. All right. Now let's get the emotions. The emotions, emotional intelligence, emotion body of the love interest, the emotions, emotional intelligence, emotional body of the person of interest. Please, thank you. Okay, let's do it. Emotional intelligence, emotional health of the love interest. Emotion body, emotional health, emotional intelligence, emotion body of the love interest. Emotion, health, emotional intelligence, emotional intelligence, emotional health of the love interest, please and thank you. Emotional. Okay, we got 2 cards Okay, we got Two of Swords and Seven of Cups. Yep, I know about that. That's their emotion body. I already know where that's going. All right. I know exactly where it's going. Okay. Sexual health, sexual identity, sexual health, sexual identity of the love interest, please and thank you. Okay, let's do it. Sexual health, sexual identity, sexual health. Okay, well, that didn't take long. Clarifier for the Page of Swords in the first position, the mental and neurological. Clarifier, there it is. All right, Knight. Got it. Clarifier, second position, emotions. Clarifier for that Seven of Cups and Two of Swords. Clarifier. Ooh, dang. Okay. Hold on, guys. Oh. Ooh, this is good. I mean, well, we got two clarifiers in the second position. The two, their emotion body, is something heavy going on in the emotional body, because two keeps popping out for the emotion body position at one time for some reason. So there's a lot going on in their emotional intelligence, the emotions. All right, clarifier for their sexual identity and their sexuality for that. Very well. Okay. Alrighty. All right, so we got a clarifier for each, and let's get started. All right, we're going to start with that mental and the brain, the neurological, the physiological. We got the Page of Swords and the Knight of Cups. Okay, so for some of you, in their neurological system, in their mental thought life capacities here, and remember, these are all beneath the surface, so we're dealing with subconscious, dealing with things that are not easily seen or understood or known, whether by them or others. We want to know roots, okay, and that's the intention of the reading. So at the root of them, okay, in this particular area, some of the people that you're dealing with have a tendency to not be able to stick with things. They constantly looking back. They're constantly, sending up one message but meaning something else. Doing one thing and looking somewhere else in their mentals, okay, in their actual brain. So there's a brain chemistry imbalance going on for some. And for some, if it's not a full imbalance, it's just that they have a tendency to be indecisive, even though this is the Page of Swords. What I'm being intuitively drawn to is that they do perhaps send a lot of messages, say a lot of the right things, maybe have the right intent, maybe send the messages, however can't follow through because they're always looking back. They're always so stuck in the mind. They're always looking at behind them. They're always looking at something else, someone else, And it's an actual mental thing. It's an actual neurological thing happening. It's clarified by the Knight of Cups. And so, oddly enough, normally the cups are about the emotion body, right? And so, but what it's representing in this position is that they're in their brain, in their mental state. As a Knight of Cups, they have a tendency to be whimsical, similar to what I was saying about that Page of Swords. Because the Knight of Cups traditionally is emotional and coming with all the emotion. But since this is dealing with brain, and we're talking about brain or thought life and the neurological, physiological aspect, it's actually in the brain where they are fiery and whimsical in their thinking, in their decisions. So some of them can't keep still. Some of them are ADD. Some of them are very passionate, but their thoughts are so used to being so all over the place, if you will, in the thought life, that it's very flighty. It's very, based on the stimuli that's coming into the neurological system, the chemicals that are being released there. And they just go with it. It doesn't matter how all over the place. Okay. Now, some of you all, they're not all in the unhealthy places. Some of them, are getting balance. It's on the flip side. Okay. Some of them are starting to become more decisive in the mind. They're recognizing it. And so they're becoming, okay, so pages are, fresh, new, young energy. And so they are starting to realize that they need to narrow down not only what they want, they need to narrow down and focus on something. They're realizing they need to singularize their focus so that they can become successful, or so that they can build something or stabilize something, rather than feeling like it's always starting over. Okay. And some of them are growing that capacity to put their passions in that one direction. You see how they're looking at each other. Okay. So you have one side of the spectrum where people are getting into that healthier place from that subconscious level, but then you have another side of where they're still stuck in the lower density energy. Okay. And that is the mental, neurological, okay, physiological space. Now, we're going into the emotions. Like I said, there is a lot going on in the emotion body of your persons of interest. And because two cards kept popping out each time. So we got the Two of Swords, Seven of Cups, clarified with the Six of Swords and Seven of Pentacles. So their emotions are constantly, a group of you all, their emotions are constantly double-minded. Okay, they're constantly double-minded even within their emotions, because they feel overwhelmed by choices. Seven of Cups. They feel like everything looks like candy. Everything looks great. Everything, could be something. And that makes them feel like the Two of Swords. That makes them feel in their emotions like they just can't. Even though they can. This is a self-imposed blind here, okay? It's not real. You see the moon energy there, so it's not even real. It's an illusion. And this is what's going on in their emotional body. Their emotional intelligence haven't been all that developed, so they really feel, they truly feel Seven of Cups. They have so many options which life can present, but it overwhelms them to have so many options and gets them here, which causes them to walk away from stuff in the Six of Swords and their emotions. They walk away from their emotions, and they walk away from anything that's going to cause them to feel and be too emotional. They walk away from things that are putting pressure, if you will, in this position, the challenges. So it's like, so eventually they just start walking away from stuff, or self-sabotaging to walk away, or to cause people to walk away. One or the other. Either they're going to do it, or they're going to self-sabotage in their willful Two of Swords, because of the options, because of slow, feeling like they have all these pentacles and it's slow perhaps slow moving of what they really want, and they got all these pinnacles and they're looking, and they either decide to stay stuck here, causing people to walk away with the Six of Swords, or they themselves start running, avoidance, and walking away. So that's for a group of you. And if you want to reverse that, of course, I'm picking up that there are some that are starting to even see that about their emotions, and because of that, they're walking away from, you know, blaming people, from acting like a victim, from the tendency to run away. You know, they're trying to do that. They're trying to align themselves to recognize, like, okay, I done this for 10 years already. Like, something ain't right, you know, and I'm not blind. I'm choosing to be blind because I feel overwhelmed. And they're deciding, you know, to see that. They're deciding to see that and trying to make an adjustment. I don't sense that any of them are there yet, but there are some that are really sincerely and wholeheartedly really wanting to, and they really see it, and they're really trying to make the adjustment. Okay, some of them, like I said, the other group, they're way deep in it, and they keep repeating those cycles. Okay, emotional intelligence, they got stunted. Some of them got stunted, you guys. Trauma and childhood. I heard that earlier, but it's something that was resonating with me anyway. I heard that with someone else I was listening to, and I was like, that's it. I've been saying it. And I was like in tears because it just confirmed what I had been saying. All right, third position. So some of you, you know, you want to know about that. We all do, right? So what is their, you know, sexual health, their sexual identity, you know? And what came out, oddly enough, is the Ace of Fire. You know, it was a sexual position, and fire energy came out. So the Ace of Fire and the Seven of Fire. And I'm going to show you these. And so you can get the depiction, because this is an intuitive reading. And in this kind of spread, what this really is representing, I want you to look at that. So what this is telling me is that they are addicted. There are some of your people that are addicted to the newness of relationships, the newness of a connection, the newness of an attraction. I call them the eternal new start dater, because they're addicted to the feeling. Ace of Fire is a new beginning. They're addicted to that new, hot, spicy, you know, caliente feeling in the sexuality experience. They're addicted to having that particular high, if you will. And it was clarified by the Seven of Fire. So Seven of Wands is defensive energy, but look how overwhelmed, look how all the stimulation. So some of them are dealing with sexual addiction. Some of them are, like I said, if it's not a full-blown sexual addiction, they're just addicted to the newness. And everything feels super exhilarating when it's the beginning. When you taste a piece of the forbidden fruit, that's something else I'm picking up. Some of them like the thrill of the forbidden. They like the thrill of the sneaking around, the thrill of secret hidden love, the thrill of doing something bad that feels so good. The thrill, and what I mean by that is lying, cheating, hurting people, hurting themselves, you know, being secretive about it. They're addicted to a high they get from that, as well as, I hate to say it in this way, so this is going to be a little brass, but new dick and new pussy. Okay? That constant conquest feeling. And some of them are addicted to variety, where even though it's smothering the hell out of them, and they're likely to get an STD, but it's in their sexual identity. It is in their sexuality. They're addicted to the multitudes, variety, sexually. That's the only way they feel fulfilled. They feel bored, endless, you know, with just being with the idea of regular sex, or with the idea of a monogamous connection. They're bored shitless. And it's because For some of them, something happened to them sexually too in their childhood. They were sexualized very early. They were exposed to things too early. Things that they probably ought not have seen or heard. Their identity, they have connected their identity to it because it seemed cool. It seemed like you're the ladies' man, you're the girl's guy, however you want to put it. You get all the daps and the high fives because you fucked, you know, this bad bitch, or you fucked, you know, homeboy with all the money, or, you know what I'm saying, whatever the case may be. And it's been deeply ingrained in their sexuality. They've attached their identity to it. It's that deep. It is in the subconscious. Some of them know that they're highly sexual and they can identify that, you know, okay, a little bit addictive, but they don't realize how deep and how sabotagery it has gone in their lives. They don't see it yet. They don't see the pattern yet in terms of their sexuality, their sexual identity, what's been driving them to do the things they do sexually. Okay, that's on that end. On the other end, again, there are some that are starting to actually see it. And maybe because they got caught up with a disease scare, somebody got pregnant, or a pregnancy scare, or somebody claiming fake pregnant, you know, as an entrapment, you know, kind of thing. Or, you know, they're just simply coming to, like I said, you know, the first card was rebirth. It was rebirth, I think, with the crystal grid. And it's like, okay, so it was a rebirth, as well as, what was the other thing we got for that, the crystal? It was rebirth and nature cycles. They realize that these have been the cycles, and it's time, you know, to end this. It's unhealthy. They're seeing, some of them are seeing how unhealthy this has been. And they're seeing how it has sabotaged some probably very loving, very, very grounded, full of love and potential relationships that could have really been loves of a lifetime for them. That would have given them bliss. But because of these deep-rooted issues, they couldn't control themselves. They like their ego stroked sexually. That makes them feel good, makes them feel big, you know, makes them feel some kind of way because they are actually empty and something happened. And they're connecting their validation. They're connecting their worth. They're connecting it all to their sexual conquest and experiences. Or, you know, the feeling, since this is a neurological brain reading, the oxytocin, the dopamine, you know, all of the things that after a while, when you abuse yourself sexually, it requires more and more and more and more on a neurological, physiological perspective to even get pleased anymore, to even enjoy it anymore, because you've done so much to yourself. You've become addicted and ran ragged. Anything that is off balance and out of proportion and in excess can cause issues. And so that's where some of your people are currently that you're interested in. So be mindful and watchful of people who are always trying to push you constantly into sexual things, and you feel a sense of uncomfortableness. Okay, if that's the topic, the theme, that's the only thing they ever want to talk about, that's the only thing they ever want to do, that's the, you know, outside of that, they seem like they're almost dead. Pay attention. Or if they have addictive behavior, then they will default into something else. And this is typically when people have codependency behavior, drug and alcohol addiction, you know, things like that. Okay, and again, this is not judgment. You all wanted to know. But there are some of you, your guys' persons of interest, is they're getting through it. And that's the positive. Everybody's not stuck. But this is currently in their energy, though. And so, to me, this tells the answer of caution. If nothing else, this reading is saying caution. If it's not a definite don't do it, it's certainly saying caution. But I'm going to ask for some advice from the cards. I'm going to ask the guys, like, you know, what is the advice for you all, and what is the best possible outcome, okay, if you decide to continue on. All right. All right. There we have that. Woo, that's a lot right there, y'all. All right. So let's get some advice. Well, let's get the best possible outcome. Let's go there. Can we get the best possible outcome with this connection with the individual's persons of interest? Best possible outcome. Best possible outcome. Best possible outcome. Hold on. Best possible outcome, please, for this connection. Best possible outcome for this connection, please, and there it is. Ooh. Well, 8 of Swords. So, currently, as we speak, the best possible outcome is what we call stalemate. Either stalemate or self-imposed stuck energy in the mental plane. Though I see that one peacock crystal in the middle here. So currently, either you feel this way or they do, or both. It's self-imposed. That's what's kind of ironic about that 8 of Swords. It is a feeling of stuckness in a sense of the connection. So maybe they feel stuck because of all the stuff we just laid out here, and you feel stuck again because you can sense all the stuff we laid out here. In terms of how does that affect the relationship or the connection from developing. So there is a sense of stuckness, right? But see, I'm still drawn to that peacock looking crystal in the middle. That's probably what's going to help. So let's get the advice. Yeah, see at the bottom right now is the 7 of Swords. And 7 of Swords is defensive energy. 7 of Swords is about lying, deception, thievery, cheating. And so currently, or maybe you all have come through some of that, or they've come through some of that, or they've recognized it, that they're dealing with a lot of deception energy. So they're going to have to come through dealing with that. In order to come out, what's funny is, wow, 7, 8. That 7 makes you feel this. So it's kind of like, to get out of this 8 energy, they're going to have to face their 7. I'm going to get the advice here in a minute. But if either of you want the connection to continue or have any kind of hope of development as they work through some of their situations, those who are healthy enough to do so at this time. But in order to do that, you can't get out of the 8 without dealing with the 7 kind of thing, You can't run from your deception and yet not want to be in the 8. So whether it be they face their truth, get the strength and courage to face their truth, you get the courage to face the truth about them, vice versa, and have courage to deal with it, admit it regarding this layout, or specifically regarding the layout, what we've discovered, their addictions, their tendencies, what has caused them to conduct and behave in certain ways. Okay, they're going to have to lay down 7 of Swords. In other words, stop lying. Stop being deceptive. Stop being a master con artist. Stop being a manipulator. Stop hiding from yourself and others, especially those that you may have a real sincere desire to connect to. But you can't in a healthy way if you don't want to deal. So if it's crosswatch you're listening, if you got to come clean. You got to face your truth. You got to face yourself. And you got to face the person that you're interested in with truth. Otherwise, there is no hope for any kind of progression, any kind, in the connection. Okay? All right. So that was at the bottom of the deck. Wow. So let's get some advice. Can we get some advice concerning this connection? Can we get some? Okay. Gee whiz. We got two that popped out. Aw. Well, you guys, I mean, we got a major on the board now. This is the first major arcana that hit the board right now. So we have the Page of Pentacles and the Fool as advice. I'm seeing this two ways. The advice for you, the viewer, the listener, okay, not the person of interest that the spread is on, but for the viewer, the listener, take it as how it resonates. Some of you are advised to take your pinnacle elsewhere and to go upon a new journey, a fresh start, ground zero, a new beginning somewhere else. To just keep moving forward in life and, you know, either offer your pinnacle to somebody else or accept someone else's pinnacle that you have being presented to you. Just to let it go, basically. Let it go. And it's a loving action. It's not meant to hurt that other person. It's just got to release them sometimes to let them do their process. And they may very well come back if you want them back, if you want to accept it. They may very well come back after processing all of this with a new Page of Pentacles for a new beginning with you, after being in the position to really start looking and dealing with their stuff. Okay? And for those of you, like I said, I mean, they may come back, or for the group that resonates with those that appear to really be owning their stuff and working through it, then the advice is to go for it. You know, just go for it. Just use wisdom and caution. Go with your gut and intuition. Take your time. Don't feel pushed, pressed, bullied, or forced into anything. Don't allow gaslighting. If you're getting signal stuff not right, listen to that, but be open. If you feel like this person is sincerely showing growth to you, okay? But to many of you, the advice is let it go. And just move on in life. And moving on in life doesn't mean that you don't love them or you hate them, okay? And it doesn't even mean that it can never be again, because we can't really tell. Energy and time is always moving. And if they make certain decisions to get themselves in alignment with their higher selves and to work on things, that may shift the dynamic entirely. And if that's the case, then this may come, like I said, full circle, back around. And if you are still wanting it, you still have free will, because life goes on. If you're still wanting it, you can take the offer. But if at that point you're done and you've already found something else that you're happy with, you also have a choice to lovingly decline, right? So that's the advice position. Okay, now lastly, I knew I wasn't going to be able to do no 45 minutes. What is some good affirmations to support this whole process with this connection and the outcome position as well as the advice? Please and thank you. I knew that. But see, that's because I'm going to start changing the types of readings I do and categorizing them, because when you're basically doing, like, I call it like a counseling session or a therapy session in tarot, you're not going to be able to just get on and just read the cards and get off. But I am going to set my intention to find my own style for the shorter version readings, for those who are just looking for something quick. some quick clarity, some quick, concise answers without going in depth, you know, for those who need that and are looking for that. And then the longer readings for those who really want some therapy, as well as some in-depth guidance, you know, that they can really just listen to. All right. Ideally, I would like to have my short readings be, I'm going to choose a number. I think I'm going to want it to be like 16 minutes. The shorter reading, 16 minutes. Or 20. 16 or 20 is my goal for short readings. Okay. All right. So what's good affirmations to support the best likely outcome, as well as the advice given concerning this reading, please? Good affirmation. Oh, hell. Okay. Oh, I love it. All right. All right, we got tree agate, azurite, and a magenta dyed agate, which are all fitting, because what we have represented is grounding energy, intuitive energy, and love energy. Okay, so I'll go ahead and read that. Are you a tree hugger or an activist? Take the time to sit beneath the tree and connect with the qualities of its firmly planted roots, its ability to flex and bend in a storm, and its amazing power of growth. Remember your roots, yet always remember how much you can grow to reach great heights. Archangel Theriol will assist you, and here's your affirmation. The earth is my mother. I am one with all that is. I am connected with the sacred energy of the trees, plants, shrubs, vines, and smaller vegetation. I embrace the sunshine as well as the rain. I am balanced with all of life. Azurite, do you want to improve and trust your intuition? Activate your third eye and exercise your sensory gifts. I kept saying that, pay attention. You receive messages from the divine all the time. It is now time to notice the signs, interpret them, and use the higher guidance to create ease in your life. Archangel Raziel will assist you. I am extremely intuitive. My spirit guides and angels send me messages all the time. I am grateful for divine guidance. My mind is clear and all knowledge is available. I awaken my consciousness. I am calm. I am at peace. Magenta dyed agate, are you seeking unconditional love? You really want others to demonstrate the love they have for you. Show your love for others and know you are well loved by many. Allow love. Be a receptacle for all that is love. Love is your natural state. Archangel Zadkiel will assist you with this. I am love. I align my consciousness with gentleness, compassion, and goodwill towards all. I am compassionate and kind. I am aligned with the healing powers of inner peace and kindness. I am able to help others by vibrating love through my presence, my words, and my actions. There you guys have it. And so let it be. Send you all love and light. Everything is energy. Balance is the key. Namaste.